Welcome back, everybody. I thought it would be a fun thing to do for a Patreon exclusive thing because I know I haven't done many trailer reactions, and we've got a lot of movies coming out this weekend, so I'm going to be doing an Extraction review. I'm going to be doing an Elemental review. I know Asteroid City is coming out. I don't know if I'm going to do a Flash review yet, guys. I'm still debating that. I more than likely will, but we'll see when it happens. But today, we're going to be going over all the Mission Impossible movies leading up to Dead Reckoning Part 1. And so we're starting out with the first one, Mission Impossible from 1996, directed by Brian De Palma. Of course, starring Tom Cruise, but the supporting cast is Jon Voight, Emmanuel Béart, sorry, I know I'll probably pronounce that wrong, and Jean Reno and Ving Rhames. Now, this movie I watched, I've seen this one, and it borders on my favorite. I will say, I do think that this is such a rare and amazing series, is that maybe besides Mission Impossible 2, which could still be your favorite, that's totally fine, I'm going to watch that next, but after that, for me, that's like clearly the worst one, but I mean worse is like, this is the one I like the least. All of these, Mission Impossible 1, 3, Rogue Nation, Fallout, and I forget what the last one's called. All of those could be number one. Like, they could be, oh, Ghost Protocol, that's what I'm thinking. Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout, and 3, and 1 could all be the best, quote-unquote, in the series, and I'd be okay with that. There's reasoning for all of those. And even if Mission Impossible 2 is your favorite because of all the John Woo-isms in that, I totally get that too. That movie's insanity, and I'm kind of excited to rewatch it because it's just so over the top. But we're talking about the first one here, and just how much this movie just starts out with a banger. And you have Emilio Estevez, you have Kristen Scott Thomas, you have Jon Voight, you have the IMF team, and they're setting up for the caper. They're setting up for the caper. This is like, you know, A1, 10 out of 10 caper setup things. You got the man in the chair, you've got the operatives, you got Ethan Hunt in a very bad old man southern mask, whatever he's doing. And then they all just, oh yeah, spoiler. I'm going to be spoiling all of these guys. This movie is, what is it, like 20 years old now? 27 years old now? Oh my god, don't even say that. 27 years old now, so yes, spoilers. The whole IMF team dies. The whole IMF team dies, and especially killing off Emilio Estevez at borderline the height of his powers is such a bold choice, and I absolutely love it. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I wrote down a bunch of notes, and I don't want to get any of them lost. But that whole opening sequence of like the IMF team dying and Ethan just watching them die one by one. I remember watching that as a kid. I was 9 when this came out, so I was just like, wait, the coach from Mighty Ducks, the guy I recognize the most, even more than Tom Cruise, he's dead? And like he dies at like the spikes coming down in the elevator, terrifying. And the masks were so cool, the technology was so cool. People like typing on the loud clicky clacks of the keyboard were great. I love, you know, this was like right when GoldenEye came out, so I always loved the silence pistol with the big silencer on it. And it was just such a great opening to where everything is out the window. No, like besides Tom Cruise, of course, no one is safe. No one is safe whatsoever, and I love the next scene is the fish tank scene with Henry Czerny, Czerny as Kittredge, and I'm sure this guy has had a great career as like a character actor. He's got 100 credits. He was just in the last Scream movie. He had a great death in the Scream movie, but just like, I'm not saying he should have been a star. I think he loves his career probably as much as anyone does. He's working. He probably doesn't get bothered by the paparazzi or anything dumb like that. But I will say, I wish he was a staple in these movies. I know like in the next one, it's Anthony Hopkins, and the one after that, it's Lawrence Fishburne. And after that, you know, it's like Alec Baldwin. And all of those are great. I have zero complaints with any of those. But this scene with like the Dutch close-up angles between him and like, Kittredge, you've never seen me very upset. And you see them mimic that in the new one. There's a lot of callbacks to the first Mission Impossible in at least this trailer for Dead Reckoning Part 1. There's this, and then it seems like there's another train scene that's going to be going on, and I love that because I truly do love this movie. But like, Kittredge, Henry Czerny is just slight, like, just chewing the scenery in this and going toe-to-toe with Tom Cruise. And it's like, we've been penetrated. Our information is being leaked. And just, he's eating this scene alive, and it's so good. I love it. In every single other scene, you know, when they break into Langley, it's like, only you and I know about this. What about him? I want him manning a satellite dish in Alaska. We can mail him his clothes. It's so good. He's so good in this movie. And basically, I just want to take 10 more seconds to sing this man's praises. And that, yes, I do love all the other IMF directors and, you know, the secretaries and everything they've got in the other movies. But I wish that he was in this more. I wish that he was in this more. And I'm so glad they're bringing him back for Dead Reckoning. But that scene's great. I don't know how they did the fish tank stunt. I'd love to see the behind the scenes of that, where, you know, just like the water coming down, Tom Cruise sprinting out of there. Amazing scene. And then you have, love the 90s technology. Emmanuel Béart does a great job. Like, I think this role is very underserved. She's like, just kind of like this is a more noir Mission Impossible, where it's just like, she's obviously there to seduce Ethan. Because, like, even when she first shows up, you know, he's typing the emails, he's reaching out to Max, trying to figure out what happened. How did he get framed into murdering his, like, seemed like he murdered his whole team. And obviously, like, she's there to seduce him. And from moment one, when he's, like, searching her, she's like, oh, I'm just so distressed. She's doing what she's asked. But it's like, I remember, like, the big twist when it happens, you know, when she is revealed, like, that she knows John Voight is still alive, and, you know, they're married, and she's in on it, on the betrayal. It was, like, a big reveal. It's like, looking back on it now, I'm just like, we should have all seen this coming, and maybe everyone did. I was a kid when I watched this, so it was a big reveal, but it was played so well. It's a thankless role that she does a great job with, and I feel like for all, like, you know, the term Bond girl is, like, very derogatory, but, like, Mission Impossible gives, like, really great parts and, like, really amazing parts to women in this series. And I know Thandie Newton has spoken about, like, how intense Tom Cruise was, and that wasn't a healthy set. And I think he took that to heart. I know Tom Cruise is a touchy subject, but I do love, like, you know, we've got Michelle. Oh God, I'm gonna blank on all these names, but like Thandie Newton, Michelle Monaghan, I got it, Paula Patton, and then obviously Rebecca Ferguson's career takes off after her part in Rogue Nation. Haley Atwell is going to be in the new one. Vanessa Kirby, like, they just kick so much ass in these movies. Oh, Sandra Oh. Oh no, sorry, I always mix up Sandra Oh and Maggie Q just because of their last names. But Maggie Q in Mission Impossible 3 is awesome. And I just wish, like, they would all come back as well. I wish, like, Maggie Q was in Dead Reckoning. But there's just so much good stuff about this movie, and I know I'm just, like, ranting and raving, and, you know, that's what this is about. I truly had an amazing time watching this. So what's up next? Him meeting Max. Vanessa Redgrave plays Max, the arms dealer, or, you know, the bad guy, the money man behind this, and it's so great, like, seeing that Vanessa Kirby plays, I think, Max's daughter in Fallout, and it's just like the energy that she gives in that one scene that Vanessa Kirby has. Vanessa Redgrave is like, you know, Vanessa Kirby just, like, studied this scene because they're like half flirting, they're doing business. It's like Tom Cruise, like, with this big smile, he's young, it's the 90s, and Vanessa Kirby, like, even though she's much younger than Tom Cruise in the new one, like, she still has that power, and I'm so glad she's back in Dead Reckoning because she was so good in Fallout. I can't wait to see what Vanessa Kirby's career looks like, let alone her character in this movie. But it was just so fun watching Vanessa Redgrave and Tom Cruise interact, and you could see that energy get transferred into Vanessa Kirby, and it makes so much sense. I'm pretty sure I heard that like I've only seen Fallout once. I'm really excited to revisit all of these movies, but I'm pretty sure she's Max's daughter or niece or some kind of familial connection, and it makes so much sense because they give off the exact same like flirtatious, but if you make the wrong move, I have no second hesitation about putting a gun to your head and pulling the trigger. And I love that. I love that perfect balance of like, yeah, you're really cute. You're Tom Cruise. You're charming. Oh, cool. If you put your hands in your pockets too fast, I'm going to shoot you in the face. And I love that. I love that energy. And that's the exact energy Max gives off. I love their scenes together. It was so much fun. Them breaking into Langley. It's hard to rank the Mission Impossible set pieces because now the movies are driven by their set pieces since Ghost Protocol on the Burj Khalifa, and then Rogue Nation was the plane taking off. What was Fallout? Oh, the cliff, it was him, doing the helicopter, and, they were really fighting on a cliff and stuff like that. And then obviously for Dead Reckoning, it's that motorcycle jump. I literally saw a 10-minute like behind the scenes thing in my last IMAX movie of just that stunt and how many times he had to like base jump off of it, like how many motorcycles they went through doing that jump. He's a crazy person. And so it's tough to say that this is the best set piece when they're built around set pieces now, but with how like small and intimate and intense this one was, I love the setup. I love like the water is like, oh, don't worry, the security is very state of the art, and so like a drop of water drops and the alarm goes off, just like a perfect setup for that. All the temperature changing, there's so many different things that they have to worry about. Noise, temperature, like physical touch on any of the services of the place is great, and they all use them. They reference all of them in this heist, and it's awesome. I always wanted to work at this desk, like his little like fold out chair that like now it looks like the most uncomfortable office chair. I couldn't imagine working 8 hours, but like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, that little desk chair that like beep, boop, beep, and it folds out. Awesome. I want it. But it's such a good scene. There's so many hints of like who's betraying who in this, and rewatching it, there's just enough. And speaking of who's betraying who, this is when we get introduced to Jean Reno, and I miss Jean Reno so much. I think the last time I saw him was Da 5 Bloods, and I'm sure he's working maybe like overseas in French cinema, but he's just so good. And this was like at the height of his powers with Ronin, with Leon. Godzilla is in there, unfortunately, but hey, you take a paycheck. If Roland Emmerich comes calling right after Independence Day, you take that paycheck, and I completely understand it. But it seems like he's working pretty steadily. He's got 111 credits, so I can't blame him for anything that he's doing. I just miss seeing him in these big, like, blockbuster movies because he's got that presence and he is that good. And this is when we get introduced to Ving Rhames, the only other character that's in every single Mission Impossible movie, and I love that. I truly do love that he is in all of these. Is he in 3? Let me double check. I think he's in all of them. I'm pretty sure he's in all of them. I know he's in 2, and then like at the end of 4, and then like 5 and 6, obviously. Is he in 3? 2007. He is in 3. Yeah, so he's the only character besides Tom Cruise to be in all of these, and I'm so glad. Ving Rhames, I know I use the word presence a lot, but just he's awesome. He really is just awesome, and I love having him here. I want him in more, and I'm glad that he is a staple of this franchise. We're already at 14 minutes. I know I'm ranting and raving, but the Langley scene is great. And then we transfer from the Langley scene to the train scene, which is like, I know this is done with like green screen and stuff like that, and I know nowadays Tom Cruise would be like, we have to get on a bullet train. I have to do this for real. But it's still so amazing. The graphics, for the most part, hold up. The helicopter going in the tunnel looks a little PS2, but hey, it was 1996. They were doing what they had. But the green screen when Tom Cruise, like, on the train with the wind tunnel with John Voight, looks awesome. It still holds up. And that final stunt, like, going back to the gum, red light, green light, amazing. So this is the thing, is that, like, I'm going to be going through these movies, and I don't know which one is my favorite. I'm going to rewatch 2 next, and that should be out in the next few days, guys. But besides that, I'm just like, man, these are all so much fun, and they all have their great set pieces. They all have their great side character actors. Ving Rhames and Jean Reno just throwing 100 miles an hour down the pipe. Like, It's all good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for being my patrons. I really, really appreciate it. Have a great day, and I can't wait to see you guys for Mission Impossible 2. Bye-bye.